Hi, love. Welcome back to another episode and welcome to a new month. I'm going to be honest with you. When I was growing up, I used to get so annoyed when I would hear people older than me, like people like 40 and up, but especially those like 50 and up say, before you know it, life's gonna pass you by. Like by the time you graduate, you're gonna blink and you're gonna be like, what happened to the time? Oh my goodness. They are so right. I cannot believe that we are in the sixth month of 2023. Who is she? Oh my goodness. Okay, so that aside, I really want to spend today just sharing with you a lot of different updates. I want to share with you some highlights, some lowlights, and just some evolution. Is that all right? I certainly hope so. Think of today's episode as like honestly a coffee date. I feel like all of our episodes are low key like that, but today is definitely one of those like just a quick coffee chat with one of your besties, okay? So, one of the first things I want to address is not reaching my goal. So at the end of April, I decided that I wanted to launch a physical product. This physical product being the daily and weekly planning pads. And essentially, what I did was I launched it. I created it, I designed it, I launched it. But in full transparency, I did not hit my pre order goals. And I'll be honest with you, I had this like choice to either send out these orders or refund people. And I actually chose to refund everyone. And the reason I chose to do this was because honestly, it felt out of alignment to send out these planning pads that were related to period productivity and syncing with your cycle. And knowing that I still believe syncing with your cycle is a game changer and it really can improve your life. But knowing that I have evolved as a professional past that, it didn't seem appropriate to do this. And like I said, I didn't hit my goal. And yes, is that a tough pill to swallow? Absolutely. But is it also just life? Absolutely. And I think as an entrepreneur, I have learned to really just not take everything personally. Like it's business, not personal, right? And so even though I didn't hit my goal with that, I was just like, we're going to keep moving forward because, it's okay. Like you live, you learn, you grow, and you keep going. That being said, if you did pre-order, make sure you have an email from me that says you've been refunded. If you have not seen it come through your bank account or whatever it is that we refunded you through, please send me an email to hello@optimizeyourflow.com and we will get it all squared away because it should have gone through. But in the event that it didn't, it was a past holiday weekend, but like I digress. So that's one thing. The next thing I want to address with you is optimize your flow. So I really thought I was just going to completely disable optimize your flow, be done with it, wash my hands of this type energy. And then about a week ago, if you know, you know. And if you don't know that song, it's actually okay. But if you know that song, you are my people. But about a week ago, I got this idea to really reshape the Optimize Your Flow Instagram and really continue teaching about syncing with your cycle, but in a very different way. So, Optimize Your Flow really is a stress free approach to syncing with your menstrual cycle. It is a methodology that I have built over the last 6 years of practicing myself, but also teaching other people. And I don't want to completely get rid of it. So what I've chosen to do is kind of refresh it is the best way to say it. So if you go to the Optimize Your Flow Instagram right now, you will notice that there are only about 9 Instagram posts on the actual feed. And that's to really help you all just get a breakdown of like where to start with everything when it comes to syncing with your cycle. So the first post you'll see says like meet your cycle, meet your flow. And that's because there's so much that people just don't know about their cycle, even though they probably should, especially if you listen to the podcast. Another post is all about reading and understanding your period as well as some of those premenstrual symptoms. Then of course we talk about how to actually sync with your cycle, like my methodology through understanding your biomarkers and not just waiting for your period, although that is probably my favorite one. We talk about how to actually support your body throughout different phases. So naturally, this is going to be that nutrition, the movement, and like the optimization aspect. Not only this, but I do make sure that you all know like your daily habits. And I go so far as to share with you how to continue learning. So, oh, and I introduce myself. The intention behind structuring the Instagram this way is because I am literally all about stress-free living right now. And I think that often I have overcomplicated so much about what I do because I'm like in the details, right? And I think often, like, if you are in the details of something, you are in the details. But like, I just want to stress less and live more. And so I wanted the Optimize Your Flow Instagram to really reflect a stress-free approach and embrace like my mantra and philosophy for life right now, stress less and live more. Not only this, but because I'm extremely inconsistent with posting on the Optimize Your Flow Instagram, I just want people to know exactly what they're looking at as soon as they go on it. Now you're probably thinking, Barry, I don't really care. That's fine. That's fine. I just want you to know, like, one, the feed looks a little bit different. Number two, if you are still looking for like the OG information, you can go over to the Reels tab and you'll actually be able to find a lot of what was there. The only thing I did was like go ahead and remove it from like the main page just so that it didn't overwhelm me or literally anybody else. Not only this, but I think the simplicity of this is really going to help you all know how I can support you when it comes to your cycle. So you can actually go to like an Instagram post and actually see what the inside of the Flow Collective looks like and know what you're going to learn. You can actually see, oh, this is how I can actually improve my period through daily habit tracking, and like see what someone has to say about the cycle support planner, for instance, which if you didn't know, that's the digital guide that's available. But again, this is all about me just wanting to stress less and live more. And I think that this is really going to help you, especially if you're still trying to figure out your cycle. So I wanted to give that update. The third update I have for you is kind of just where I'm at in life, what it is I am loving right now, and honestly, like what I'm really looking forward to. So first, like I said, I'm really embracing the stress less and live more philosophy, and I cannot say how obsessed I am with it enough. I feel as if like this weight has been lifted off of my shoulders and off of my chest, and it's just been really, really good. Life's been so good, and I also have to tell you, I have cut my hair. I've chopped off about 3 inches of hair, and I have not felt this good in so long. Like, I chopped off all of the trauma that I was carrying for like basically the last year. And it's true when they say hair holds memories, because now that that is chopped off of my head, I am seeing things that I have not seen in so long. Case in point, the glow that is back in my skin. Who is she? The sleep that I am getting? What is that? Not only this, but also in the business. So I love sharing stuff about business with you because a lot of you also work in like the service-based industry, which is really great. But like, listen, I have been in a really creative flow recently, and I am just seeing everything through such a different lens. So I've gone ahead and I've created a 21-day challenge called The Reset, and it is a simple hormonal health challenge. However, it is completely different than anything else I have ever done because there's no mention of your menstrual cycle, which is so weird for me. It doesn't have a ton of like education in it. It's all just implementation. So I want to share with you a little bit about the reset because one, I've noticed quite a few of you have purchased it already, but also we are going to be doing it live together beginning June 11th, which I'm just now announcing for the first time. So basically, the reset is designed to help you reset your body so you can really achieve hormonal harmony. And the first thing that we do is like it's a 3-phase process, but the first thing we do is we focus on removing heavy metals and toxins from the body. And I think that a lot of people just don't know how heavy metals and toxins get into the body in the first place, but we all have some trace of it and we focus on removing it. And then the second thing that we do, so in phase 2 of it, we focus on restoring hormonal harmony and balance, okay? And I can't tell you all the details, but y'all know me. I love bringing harmony to what I do and really helping people feel really good. And so the way we do this is through focusing on supporting all of the systems within the body. And a lot of y'all are getting a little clever. Y'all are following me on TikTok and then being like, oh, that's what she's talking about. So if you don't follow TikTok, you should probably hop on that train. But that's what we do in phase 2. In phase 3, we really renew the sense of like what it means to live a healthy life as a woman. Now, the first thing I want to go ahead and say about this is the reset is really all about removing heavy metals and toxins from the body. Okay, so that's the number one thing we focus on. But of course, you know me, I got to give you the holistic aspect of things. So I also make sure that we move through 3 phases so you really do feel good at the end of the 21 days. But in addition to that, you also are given additional like direction for how to nourish the body throughout the day. But listen, I only provide y'all with, I think, 4 recipes, maybe 5. There's 3 smoothies, 1 like midday beverage, and then an evening beverage. So 5 recipes. And the reason I decided to go beverage based is because a lot of you are overcomplicating this whole hormone balancing thing. And I think if you knew what to eat or how to do certain things, life would be a lot simpler for you. So with that being said, I was like, you know what? I know I'm drinking there's like always a drink in my hand. Like, all you gotta do is put a drink in my hand. Like, I swear, I didn't realize I was in the beverage girly club, but I am. So in the reset, you have a morning smoothie and then you have a midday beverage and then you have your evening beverage. I also definitely make some recommendations for other things for you to be doing, but as I've said, I'm really in this stress less and live more aspect. So you actually experience that in the reset. You are literally working on cleansing the body basically and balancing your hormones without actually having to think about it, which I do like to teach people to think, but I think right now everyone's just like, hey, I know you're really smart. I know I need to balance my hormones. Can you just really help me understand what to do? And so that's what the reset is. It is $28. Currently, the price is going to go up on June 11th to $44. Okay. So listen, if you are one of the girlies who has decided, I want to do the reset. Okay. I want to start with you live on June 11th. Go ahead, grab it before June 11th. Because when I say we start June 11th, like you're going to see it on my Instagram. You're going to be like, girl, what is that? Like, give me that recipe. And then be like, you got to get in the reset. And then you're going to be like, sis, it was just $28. Why is it $44 now? Because the price just went up. Okay. Have you guys ever seen that DJ Khaled meme where it's like the price just went up? That's me telling you right now, today, the price is going to go up to $44 on June 11th. So get the reset like today. Also, let me preface, this is all just you going to the grocery store. I'm not saying order any additional supplements or anything like that. We keep it real cute, real simple, real sexy. And that's because Simplicity and efficiency are things that I am valuing on a spiritual level right now. Okay, so there is that. The next thing I want to share with you is my simple 3-step process for balancing hormones. So if you follow me over on Instagram, you would know that you could literally download this and get your hands on it for free. Okay, it's a simple 3-step process, and I'm going to share it with you right now because I have your attention. But, as I was thinking about how to balance hormones and what it is that I do with people really, really well, I was like, I can boil this down into 3 steps. Step number 1, we're resetting the body and removing the heavy metals and toxins. That is the first thing you need to do on your hormone balancing journey. Period. Dot. End of story. Okay, we don't have to talk about it a lot. That's just what needs to get done. Step number 2 is restoring hormonal harmony and balance through supporting all of the systems of the body. Obviously, when you work with me in a one-on-one capacity, I tell you what to do more, but this is just like a general overview of what to do, right? And then step number 3 is really renewing your view and perspective of health. So often people think they just want to like achieve hormonal harmony to alleviate their symptoms. But if I'm being really honest with you, it's so much more than that. And it took me a really, really long time to realize why health mattered to me so much more. Like why health mattered to me when I started everything I did now 6 years ago was simply so I could feel good in my body. Health matters more now than it did before because now I'm thinking about the longevity of life at the end of the day. I want to live a very peaceful but also full and like impactful life. And so now my lens of like what it means to be healthy is so much different than what it was before. And my simple 3-step process for balancing hormones like is those 3 things, and I share it with you very openly. You can head to the show notes and actually get the download. Like I said, it's a free download. I'm pretty sure it's like a 4-minute YouTube video. It's very short, sweet, and to the point. You can't access the YouTube video unless you actually give me your email. So sorry for those of you who don't like to give your email out. Then you don't get the information. Period. But like I said, this has just been really, for me, really insightful. And I actually had a woman send me a DM right after she watched the video. She's like, I'm interested in working with you. How can I do it? And so I just shared with her like the link to apply to work with me one-on-one. And she's like, I can't wait. This is just such a different approach than anything I've ever heard. And I think that's what's really like exciting me right now is that my process is so simple. But just because it's simple doesn't mean it's effortless, right? Like it's simple because it's like very much so. These are the 3 things you're doing, right? Obviously, the how of doing these things, you need to either get the reset or apply for one-on-one coaching with me. But this is what you need to be doing. And I tell you that. I don't withhold that because I think it's important that you know like what to do and why to do it. You want to restore harmony in the body, for instance, and you want to do it through supporting all of your systems, not just your gut. The gut ain't cutting it no more, right? You want to remove heavy metals and toxins because heavy metals and toxins are often what's causing your liver to be sluggish, for instance, or, your fatigue and different things like that, right? So you want to remove heavy metals and toxins because this is going to cleanse the body. You want to restore hormonal harmony so that you can live your best life, and you want to renew your view of health because you as an individual, you evolve. So maybe when you started listening to this podcast, you were just simply trying to learn how to sync with your cycle. But now maybe you listen to the podcast because you're like, whoa, like there's so many other aspects of my health I need to actually focus on, right? Like this is a renewed vision entirely. And so again, I share this process because I think people do need to know these things. But obviously, like in terms of like getting the details on like maybe how I help people restore balance in a simple way, you need to work with me to get this specific how of that. But I digress. So I've updated you on my failure, which It's so weird to say, but like I'm so okay with it. I've updated you on OYF and kind of what to expect there. I've shared with you my like philosophy for life. I've shared with you the reset. I've shared with you my simple hormone balancing process. I think the only thing left to share is that I am honestly so deeply grateful for you and your presence in my life. I am so grateful that so many of you just trust me as a voice of reason. And, you know, it never really goes unnoticed, but today I have like a deep sense of gratitude. And perhaps it's just because of where I'm at in my cycle, okay? But in all honesty, I think it's because I can feel the new season and the new era here. I can feel like the butterfly. If you know, you know, but like I can feel that big butterfly energy and I'm just so here for it. So, I hope this has been supportive to you and you enjoyed our little coffee date. Sorry I talked at you most of this time and not with you, but that is a podcast more often than not. I also want to remind you that if you want to join the live reset challenge beginning on June 11th, you do need to go ahead and purchase your reset guide. Get it by June 10th, because on June 11th, the price goes up. The challenge is officially starting. And what I'm basically doing is anybody who decides to join the reset, I'm going to send you an invitation to join my close friends list on Instagram so we can keep everything updated and you can like literally check in with me. It's going to be a really fun challenge, but it's also going to be one of those like just, I would say, minimal challenges. Like we're not doing a lot. We're just enjoying life together. And as always, I love you and I mean it. Ciao.